So what we're looking for is we're looking at the shape of the land, because what you've got is a rising slope over there, a flat bottom, and then this rise here. So the dams will come snaking through all of this, and you'll have many, many areas of open water. Then you're looking at the tree species to see what's palatable. So sycamore's palatable, but it's really just looking at what vegetation you've got and the shapes. Beavers don't just create landscapes that are very rich in all forms of other life. They also create landscapes that are like the Earth's kidneys. So they filter out the silts and the sediments. They slow the flow of water at times of flood, and in times of drought they retain water. Without beavers, we're forever going to have this cataclysmic relationship with water. If you don't have them, you don't have a functioning landscape. It's as simple as that.
It's like really amazing to know now that the beavers are here, because we had like quite a process to getting them. So obviously we're in the enclosure now, and it's a licensed enclosure, so we had to apply to Natural England for the licence, which Derek Gow helped us with, and Rogine from the Beaver Trust. They were like really fundamental in kind of getting it sorted for us, and we started doing it in September last year, so September 2024, and I honestly thought it was going to take like such a long time, but actually by Christmas we had the licence, so it was like the best Christmas present ever. And then that meant that we had to then start the works for the enclosure. So there's a big, like a spec that you have to follow to make sure like the beavers don't escape, and it's like beaver safe.
They won't get through 10 centimetres.
They won't get through 10 centimetres. And if we do it this way, so that your fence, when you're sinking your fence, it goes down underground, okay? So there's just stream bed flowing through. Your fence meets that concrete.
Because we can do a slurry channel, big square, 4 foot by 2 foot.
Yeah, we've got some
And then
of
build
them.
the mesh in
A
front.
slurry channel.
It's like basically a concrete U shape with a lid on top, so basically it makes a square, big square, which is similar to them, isn't it? But then you'll have to make the mesh grill on the front of that. You'll have to get that made.
Where are the badger paths?
Up there. What we had to do was kind of dig all around. There had to be a skirt put in to stop digging. It's a 1.2 metre high fence, 20 metres either side of the watercourse. There has to be like an overhang. That's where generally the beavers will be hanging out, so it's stopping them climb over. The beaver grills, so that was making sure on the inlet and the outlet there was like a beaver tight system, but it still allowed the water to flow, and obviously you got debris coming down. We had to build some lodges for them.
Making a lodge, look at how bare it is. To make a lodge work, what you want to do, if you can imagine a circle of logs about that high, okay, so it's really snug, and you put the opening at the edge of the water, and you make that wee kind of circle, like a wee wood henge, fill it full of straw, chuck loads of apples in it, and then you cut as much of that stuff as you possibly can and cover the whole thing over. But in and around the dam front, I would just chuck a lot of trees in. It means that they can get into it and under it, and it's complicated, and they like that. Yeah. So they like that as a starting point, and then just leave them.
That's how good the beaver house is, it stood it.
Eventually they'll kind of create this sort of watery kingdom in here, which will be the perfect habitat for them. It'll have enough food for them, and it'll also help to attract new like species in, and that sort of biodiversity increase, which will come because they're here. Just super excited to see how that will unfold.
Say within a year, what would you expect to see change-wise here?
I mean, I'd expect to see some huge dams across here, running from the steep bank over there, right the way up to the footpath. Water, all these big trees submerged. You know, maybe not with not much water, but certainly, you know, a foot, half a foot. Yeah. Things like the oaks will stand it for a wee while. Most of the rest of the stuff is going to die or be fed upon by the beavers very quickly. And what you'll have here is just this whole ribbon of blue and green as the aquatic plants start to take, running right the way down the valley.
So this stream initially, they're obviously going to slow the flow a little bit.
Yeah.
But once they've constructed the dams, am I right in thinking after that, most of the water then passes through the system and on down through like braided channels around the side.
Absolutely, but the holding capacity of these ponds is going to be 10 times the volume of water.
In flood, when you get more flood.
And the other thing is that they'll retain it. So what you find in something like this is you find some of your dams may lose water in the first years completely. I don't think so, because you've got a constant feed here, but you'll find this kind of like complex of some areas that retain water and that are deep. So if the dam goes across from the bottom of this bank where the bank is, I mean, the water could be 5-6 foot deep, and then it'll taper out into, you know, a couple of foot of water. And then some of the areas, you know, if there isn't enough water in the summertime, they may go dry. But what you'll have is this whole landscape that at the moment is pretty dark, pretty overshaded.
Yeah, it's very uniform.
Exactly.
Isn't it? Tall, spindly trees.
All changes.
And we're going to put fence lines top of the bank, right?
Yeah.
Do you expect them to venture up there?
Yeah, they will. I mean, what they're going to do, so all these tiny trees, the things that look like nothing at the moment from a feeding point of view, all this is great food. Yeah, really good food. So they'll take a lot of the small stuff, and then they'll start in things like that.
Yeah.
And then in the end, I mean, some of these big sycamore are going to come down as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, they'll explore everything, absolutely everything. And then the nice thing is that, I mean, a lot of these big trees that die too, of course, if they die and they stand, as things like ash might do, well, the ash might rot at the base anyway, we don't know, but for the ones that stand, is that the bark will flake off, the woodpeckers will come in, the woodpeckers will start to pocket, then you get your bats in there, and there have been loads of studies in places like Bavaria where show you all the passerine bird numbers go right up, because you've got all these holes everywhere. So at the moment, I mean, there'll be a few crevices in this, but nothing like what you're going to get when you've a lot of big trees standing dead in the water.
The other invasive we got here, which we were thinking of clearing, but I thought we'll see if the beavers do it, is rhododendron. Now I've seen rhododendron drowned out at Ken Hill, haven't I? Where it's starting to die off.
Yeah,
they don't eat it though, do they?
They do, well, it's at Ken Hill, and the other place where you have rhododendron and beavers is Cropston. And at Cropston, they've done the same. They've drowned it out, they've cut it, they've used it as building material. And if you occasionally look through the detritus at the edge, you'll see some completely peeled sticks. But there's also cherry laurel and Lelandii, which you believe they like both of those things. So they will actually chop down Lelandii and feed on it. Cherry laurel, they'll chop down and feed on it. So where you've got a mixture, because of course the pheasant covers were mixed, of the cherry laurel and rhododendron, it's very difficult to tell where the sticks are. I would suggest they're cherry laurel. So
great, very exciting.
Yeah, and there'll be fish swimming where there are no fish today.
Trout through here, hopefully.
After a lot of hard work and many people involved in it, we got the beaver fence finished. Rogine from Beaver Trust came to inspect it and she gave us the thumbs up, so we were really excited to get a date set. But before they came here, they had to go to the Five Sisters Zoo in Scotland to have their health screening checks, check everything was all right. We finally got the nod that they were on the road, on the way up to Broughton, and so the nature recovery team were really excited about them arriving. And then Sheila from the Beaver Trust drove them down from Five Sisters Zoo to release them into their new home here. The female was a little bit sassy when we released her, and the male seemed really chilled out, so I was slightly concerned for him. But yeah, they seemed all right when they first met, and actually, as we've been monitoring them, they're kind of starting to groom each other. They're now kind of living in one place, we think, so it looks like it's all going well. We've had like such enthusiasm from so many people about them being here. You know, we hunted them to extinction in the UK, and to have them back here now, I think it just really captures something. You know, they're quite elusive. There's just something there where people feel the magic of them being back. And yeah, we've had like all the posts that we put on our Instagram have just had so many views, and it's really nice to see such a positive reaction to them being here.